So Elon Musk just recently had an interview with the All In podcast. It was about an hour long, but I shorten it. If you guys watched that video, everything that Elon Musk said about Tesla, which came out to about like a 12-minute video. You guys can check the video right here. If you guys didn't watch that, don't worry. I'm going to break down the most important things that you probably missed, or you probably should know what he said, because there were some, I don't want to say bombshells, because I know that's been like used a lot, but some bombshells has been dropped that we got to go over, or you got to know. So let's get down to it. Smash that like button and let's go. Let's start. The first thing that I want to go over that's important has to do with DOJO. Now, in the beginning, Elon did say that DOJO has a very low probability and a really low percentage point or percentage chance for it to be successful. But in this one, he sounded a lot more confident, and he said something very, very interesting. Take a listen.
This training and inference, and we do have those two projects at Tesla. We've got DOJO, which is the training computer, and then our inference chip, which is in every car, inference computer. And DOJO, we've only had DOJO 1. DOJO 2 is we should have DOJO 2 in volume towards the end of next year, and that will be, we think, sort of comparable to sort of a B200 type system, a training system. So I guess there's some potential for that to be used as a service. But DOJO is just kind of like, I mean, I guess I have like some improved confidence in DOJO, but I think we won't really know how good DOJO is until probably version 3. Like, it usually takes 3 major iterations on a technology for it to be excellent, and we'll only have the second major iteration next year. The third iteration, I don't know, maybe late 26 or something like that.
Elon says that DOJO 2 mass production is gonna start end of next year, which is comparable to B200 or NVIDIA's B200 training system. Now, this is a big deal because Tesla buys a lot of these chips from NVIDIA. Now, I'm not saying that Tesla is going to compete with NVIDIA. And again, this is end of next year. NVIDIA, they're probably going to have something even better by end of next year, right? But the fact that Tesla can do this, have the B200 by next year, it shows how fast these guys are moving. And that is a big flippin' deal. Now, again, I don't think if they're this fast, maybe, but how I'm seeing for the foreseeable future, I don't see Tesla competing with NVIDIA with chips. And even if Tesla has these chips, I don't think they'll be able to sell to other players because they need them. Tesla needs as many chips as possible to solve full self-driving, as we see in the cluster, the mega cluster, and the supercomputers in the Giga Texas. He needs all that, and not to mention the robots. He needs all that data. He needs all that chips. So if you guys think that in the future Tesla's gonna become a chip maker and sell chips, no, I don't think so. I think NVIDIA has got that market right in its grip. And I think the only threat that I can see happening to NVIDIA is the other chip makers, right? The Intels, AMD, MSTR, I think that's another one. TSMC, but TSMC is the one that actually makes the chip, so I don't think they're that much of a threat to NVIDIA. They're doing very good. But the fact that Tesla can make these chips that's comparable to NVIDIA by end of next year, B200 training chips, which is insane. And if they can mass produce this, imagine the data. The things that they can do with the data and how many data they can collect then, not just for FSD but for the bots. It's gonna be absolutely flippin' insane. Here's the part that also got me really excited, is that Elon said that he has an improved confidence towards DOJO now. So now, remember a year or two ago or beginning of the year, he said that he thinks there's a low chance that DOJO will be successful. Now he says, okay, my confidence of that has improved. Now I don't think it's a low chance anymore. It's a higher chance, but I'm keeping it low just in case. But nonetheless, more than last time. So that is, as someone who's going all in a company like Tesla and seeing the CEO say that gives me confidence too. He also says that DOJO needs at least 3 versions or iterations for it to be very successful. And version 3 is coming late 2026. And again, this goes back to my NVIDIA versus Tesla thing. Late 2026. You think NVIDIA is just not going to do anything until late 2026? So it's hard to, see them compete in this world of chips. And again, if Tesla does master these chips, they're not going to sell it out to anybody. They're going to use it internally until the full self-driving is done, until the robots is done. And even if they have access off that, they're probably going to use backup for that. It's only if they don't need it anymore, they can look for buyers. So until then, I don't see them competing with NVIDIA. But the fact that they can make their own chips, it means that NVIDIA won't have much business with Tesla. Because if they can make their own chips, unless NVIDIA comes with even a better, crazier chip, then I have no doubt of them doing that. But that's the Shishi moment. Now, going to the Optimus part. The Optimus part, there's a lot of stuff about the Optimus part, so just take a listen to this part.
Major iterations are less than 2 years, so it's probably on the order of 5 years, maybe 6 to get to 1 million units a year.
And at that price point, everybody can afford one,
Yes.
planet Earth. I mean, it's going to be that 1-to-1, 2-to-1. What do you think ultimately, if we're sitting here in 30 years, number of robots on the planet versus humans?
I think the number of robots will vastly exceed the number of humans.
Vastly, yeah.
Vastly
Okay.
exceed. I mean, you have to say, like, who would not want a robot buddy? Everyone wants a robot buddy.
Totally.
You know, it's just like, especially if it can take care of take your dog for a walk. It could, you know, mow the lawn. It could watch your kids. It could, you know, like, it could teach your kids. I think the ratio of humanoid robots to humans is going to be at least 2-to-1, maybe 3-to-1. Everybody will want one, and then there'll be a bunch of robots that you don't see that are making goods and services.
So the techno king of Tesla says that there is 3 production versions for anything, or 3 iterations before the product is good, as we talked about the DOJO. The second iteration for the bot is going to happen within 2 years. And within 2 to 3 years after that, the third one will most likely be there. And Elon says that it'll take today, 5 to 6 years from today, that Tesla can produce robots, 1 million a year in mass production. So and pretty much by saying by 2030, by end of this decade, which producing 1 million bots every year, and that's gonna exponentially grow, of course, at a price point, at a cost point of 10,000, and they sell at 20,000. You know the math on that. You know how much 1 million robots times $10,000 as gross profits. If it's selling to each for 20 and cost is 10, that's 10,000 in gross profits. That's 10 billion in gross profits. Double that to 20 billion in revenue, which is insane right now. I think this year Tesla's gonna end off at less than 10 billion in net income, unless they pull a rabbit out of the hat. So imagine a full year of net income this year would be just from bots by 2030. And then you got the energy and so many other things, the robotaxis, FSD. It's mind blowing. And if they're doing 1 million next year, they're probably gonna do 1.5 or 2 million. Because making a bot is so much faster and simpler than building a car, because car's big. A bot is much smaller. So mass production is going to be crazy. And then Elon says that robots will vastly exceed humans, as we already know this, by a ratio of 2-to-1 humans. So about 20 billion bots around the world. And he says things that they'll do the chores, they'll mow the lawn, they'll clean your dishes, they'll clean the house. Kind of like what I said earlier, when we have a maid in Kuwait. When you have guys, life is completely different when you have a maid at home, right? In the Western world, it just doesn't work. It's too expensive. But imagine coming home, dinner's ready, your bed's ready, the house is clean, the chores are done, your laundry's finished, your lawn is cleaned, your water's been planted, you know, your plant's been watered. So imagine all these chores are done, and all you gotta do is just, you know, do whatever you want. You have the time. The time is now yours. You don't have to do chores anymore. So imagine now this bot is coming in and they can do all that for you. Man, it's gonna change the flipping world. Sheesh. And then Elon says this.
You need the sort of end effectors. You need the autonomous cars, and you need the sort of humanoid robots or your general purpose robots. But once you have general purpose humanoid robots, autonomous vehicles, you can build anything. And there's I think that there's no actual limit to the size of the economy. I mean, there's obviously, you know, the mass of Earth, you know, like that would be one limit. The economy is really just the average productivity per person times number of people. That's the economy. And if you've got humanoid robots that can do, there's no real limit on the number of humanoid robots, and they can operate very intelligently, then there's no actual limit to the economy. There's no meaningful limit to the economy.
No limits, baby. No limits to the economy. Take a look at this chart, the GDP every single year or just over time. Look how it's going up like a flipping rocket. Those who think that we're gonna just stop now while we have all this AI coming, they're absolutely wrong. The projection and trend is pointing up. So imagine what's going to happen with these robots coming and this full self-driving. When people have all this time and they have all this goods and services that they can get, man, productivity is going to be absolutely massive. We're probably going to reach the trillion, well, not, we're already in trillions, but quadrillions and multiple of that. Maybe even, I don't know what's after quadrillion. It's going to be absolutely insane. But that's what Elon said in this interview. And things that's important. And I mean, these are the things that I think that we shouldn't miss and we shouldn't take lightly, because we will look back 5 years, 10 years from now and look at, for example, Tesla, the stock price, and say, wow, why was it even under $1 trillion? I don't even understand why right now it's under $1 trillion. Not financial advice. I mean, I'm buying as much as I can, but how is the stock still under $1 trillion when you have all this crazy AI stuff coming? When you have flipping ChatGPT all of a sudden worth over 150 billion, and then you have Tesla who's doing all this crazy real world AI and has the most, by a long shot, the most real world AI, and yet, you know, the stock is still, the company is not even valued at $1 trillion. It's crazy to me, and it's gonna be crazy to everyone by end of the decade when we look back today and go like, wow, what a bargain. Don't say I didn't warn you. Not financial advice, but that's all I'm saying. Speaking of all that, Tesla, not Tesla, but someone working in Warner Brothers, where Tesla is going to be hosting the robotaxi event, leaked on how the robotaxi kind of looks like. Check the video out right here, subscribe, and get some merch, guys. And I shall see you guys in the next video. I love y'all. See ya.